He went to go repossess a vehicle, but it didn't go the way he thought it might. Around 8 a.m. on June 5th, 2021, deputies in Jefferson County were called out to Lee Springs Road and Sullivan Road. They received a call because there was some sort of a disturbance. People who called 911 said that there was a white SUV and a green SUV that were basically ramming into each other on the road. The dispatcher could hear arguing in the background. Now, while deputies were on the way to this place on Sullivan Road, they received a call that there had been a shooting at 10256 Sulphur Springs Road. And all of these roads are right in the same area there in Jefferson County. In fact, Lee Springs Road intersects with Sulphur Springs Road just a couple of minutes up the road from that address on Sulphur Springs Road. So deputies got out to that address on Sulphur Springs Road and they saw a man laying on the ground. He had been shot. The victim's name was Zackery Chumney, and Zackery Chumney was taken to Jefferson Regional Medical Center, where he was pronounced dead just 15 minutes after police received that first call about an argument. At the scene, deputies spoke with Cheyenne Holland and Opal King. Now, Cheyenne Holland identified the person who shot Zackery as Bradley Scott Hartley. Bradley and Opal were dating, and she didn't want him to get into trouble, so she actually told police that the shooter's name was Devin Nash. But Bradley wasn't at the scene. He had fled the scene. Police also figured out that the two SUVs that were involved in the dispute were involved in this shooting. When police were looking in the vehicles, trying to inventory them so they could be taken into police possession, they found a firearm in Zackery's green SUV. The firearm was a Taurus 9mm that was located in the glove box, and it was not loaded. Opal and Cheyenne were both taken back to the Jefferson County Sheriff's Office to be questioned about what really happened in this case. About 3 hours after Zackery was pronounced dead, Bradley decided that he would call the sheriff's office and turn himself in. So he did finally turn himself in. Now, at the time Bradley turned himself in, he wasn't armed, but police did take him back out to the scene, out to that address on Sulphur Springs Road, to be questioned about his story about what happened. Cheyenne told police that Zackery used to date Opal. Now, I don't really know why Opal had this vehicle, if Zackery just let her use it or whatever, but Opal had a vehicle of Zackery's that Zackery had sold to Cheyenne, and that's why he and Cheyenne went to go pick up the vehicle. But Opal had hidden the vehicle, so Zackery tried to ask Opal, like, where's the vehicle? Take me to where the vehicle is. According to Cheyenne, Bradley and Zackery were talking about where the vehicle was located whenever Opal just drove off in the white Tahoe. Now, Zackery tried to follow Opal, but he couldn't keep up, and he looked for her for about 25 minutes before he went back to that address on Sulphur Springs Road. When he got back to Sulphur Springs Road, Opal came out of the garage and said that she didn't have the truck, that she had set it on fire. Cheyenne must have had the patience of a saint, because Cheyenne told Opal, like, hey, I bought the vehicle from him. Could you just take us to where it is, where you hid it? So it looks like they went to where Opal had hidden the vehicle, and Cheyenne went to get in the vehicle while Zackery was stopped in the road waiting. And when Cheyenne went to get in the Tahoe, Opal just gassed it, rammed into Zackery's Yukon 2 times and screamed, "Here's your effing car." Cheyenne said that she was able to get Opal to stop ramming Zackery's Tahoe so that she could get in the car, and then Opal rammed Zackery's vehicle again. According to Cheyenne, when they got back to Sulphur Springs Road with both vehicles, that's when the arguing really got a lot worse, and Bradley and Zackery and Opal were all arguing. Zackery tried to approach Bradley, and Bradley shot him. Cheyenne also told police that Opal told her, "You better not say who shot Zackery." And then Opal told them that this David Nash is the one that shot Zackery, and then told them that the guy ran in the opposite direction of where Bradley had gone. Now, that was all from Cheyenne's point of view, because Opal actually said, like I said before, Devin Nash, but Cheyenne misunderstood and thought she said David Nash. And when Opal was interviewed, she said that she, Bradley, Cheyenne, and Zackery went to Sullivan Road to pick up that white Tahoe. She said that they then drove back to Sulphur Springs Road, and Bradley and Zackery started arguing. She said that Zackery started yelling and calling Bradley a pussy, and then Zackery walked up to Bradley holding his shirt up, saying he didn't have a gun. And Bradley got out of the passenger side of the white Tahoe and shot Zackery in the chest. Finally, Bradley was interviewed, and he gave a story that was different than both Opal and Cheyenne. Bradley did say that Zackery came out to their place looking for that white SUV, so Opal took him to get the SUV. Now, Opal left Sullivan Road driving that white Tahoe. She had Bradley and Cheyenne in the vehicle with her. Probably had Cheyenne in the vehicle with her because Cheyenne was the one trying to buy it, and she probably wanted to make sure that they didn't take off with it. That would be my guess. But Zackery was following them in the green SUV. Bradley said that he was sitting in the back seat of that white Tahoe, and when they got back to Sulphur Springs Road, he climbed over that center console to the front passenger seat to get out of the vehicle. And as he was climbing over, he saw Zackery coming at him, and he said Zackery had a firearm. Which that's weird because neither Cheyenne or Opal mention Zackery having a firearm. In fact, Opal says that Zackery had his shirt lifted up, saying he didn't have a firearm. But another thing that I noticed is that Bradley said that Zackery had a firearm that was black and silver, which the gun found in Zackery's vehicle was black and silver. But nobody mentions that Zackery fired a firearm. Police say that they found it in the glove box of his vehicle, that it wasn't loaded. So it makes me wonder if Bradley just happened to know that Zackery had that firearm or what the deal is, because I truly don't think that Zackery had a firearm. And certainly after he was shot, he couldn't have gone to put the firearm back in his vehicle. Anyway, Bradley said that he saw Zackery with this firearm, and he just happened to look down and see a silver revolver between the console and the passenger seat. So Bradley grabbed it, yelled at Zackery, "If you don't stop, I'm going to shoot your ass." And then he shot Zackery. But he doesn't just say that he shot Zackery. He said he shot him, and then he started kicking him. Then he panicked and fled on foot. So I don't know. Bradley was arrested and charged with first-degree murder and being a felon in possession of a firearm. Now, this case is still pending. He hasn't gone to trial. In fact, he does have a trial date at the end of April 2024. I do find it interesting that it looks like he bonded out on this murder charge, but in January last month, he got arrested in Jefferson County and transferred to Grant County because he had a warrant out of Grant County. He's in the Sheridan detention center right now. He got charged with possession of fentanyl. But when he was arrested and searched and they found this rolled up $10 bill with fentanyl inside, he said if he knew it was in his pocket, he would have swallowed it. Such a felon thing to say. Opal King was charged with aggravated assault and hindering apprehension or prosecution. Opal King did accept a plea deal in this case, but she's been in trouble a lot since then. She's disappeared from probation, so I don't know what's going to happen with her part of the case. But I will definitely be watching for Bradley's trial date in April to see what happens with this case.